Hey, this is Victor from Heel Hook Photography. I wanted to do this project for a real long time, and I was finally able to do it over the summer. I wanted to get 6 ladies of all different belt levels, ask them one question, and then see how the answer changed throughout their journey. To get the black belt, as there wasn't any local at the time, I organized a ladies-only seminar in my home gym, Clinch MMA in Poco, and Emily Kwok led it. Besides my regular sponsors, I gotta give a huge shout out to Innabreeze Marketing and Details Clothing for co-sponsoring this event. Both of the companies are run by badass females who are part of our BJJ community. Innabreeze Marketing helped me with Heel Hook Photography a couple months ago, and they also promoted this event for me and provided refreshments for the seminar. Details Clothing gave a discount code and gave me 3 gift certificates to raffle off after the seminar. She also gave each of my interviewees a pretty badass tank top. Emily is super chill, and I fanboyed pretty hard when we started the interview, hence why some of the video is a little off. Anyways, here we go. From right to left, we have Angie, a juvenile green belt from Clinch MMA, Quinn, a white belt from Clinch MMA, Andrea, a blue belt from Gracie Baja, Donna, a purple belt from Budo MMA, Jane, a brown belt from East Van BJJ, and Emily Kwok, the black belt, owner of Princeton BJJ in New Jersey.
I would say don't muscle your way out of every situation. Just try to think about it a little bit, so then we're not overpowered by all this strength that we can't get out of. Because it's not a muscle sport. It's a technique kind of sport, right? So I would say just test the waters a little bit, dip your toe in, and go light. And then if we respond back with that same lightness, then just maybe keep it that way. But if we go harder, then up your strength a little bit, right? That's how I like to roll. I test it a little bit, and then if I'm ready to go hard, then I'll be boom, bam, chokes, arm bars. And then yeah, it's just don't use your strength against us, or is that the right word? Yeah, okay. Or to your advantage. So yeah.
Or don't take your strength. Don't use your strength as a point of advantage. That shouldn't be the biggest defining factor of why you won.
I'm very similar to Angie. Yes, most guys are stronger than I am, and it's just we roll and be technique, and that's how we can help each other get better, right? And sure, weight and pressure is good because then you learn how to deal with it, as a girl too, when you roll with somebody who's heavier than you. But just to control that, I think that's the most important thing. And other things I tell guys out there, please wash your gi. Yes.
Cut your toenails.
Cut your toenails.
General etiquette.
Yes. Wear a cup. I don't wanna stop rolling because you didn't wear a cup. But yeah, that would be what I would say. And I think encouragement, maybe there's times where we're really stuck and you're about to get the submission, but just backtrack and teach each other, and that's what I really gain from when I roll with other guys in your gym. And how did you do that submission? Can you show me? And work through it together that way. Because I noticed some guys they don't stop and ask. They're how did you do this? But when I'm rolling with Quinn, I'm just Quinn, wait, hold up. How did you get the sweep on me? I want to know. It's really hard when you're rolling and then you get swept the same time 6 times, and then after a month of doing that, you're just wait, I get it now. Because I didn't ask them in the beginning. So.
I think you're also talking about different creatures too, though. Yeah. Women are way more communicative and men are not. I notice it a lot when I teach. Men are much more inclined to forego details in lieu of playing and figuring it out, whereas in women really like details. So women, it's the same thing when you're driving around. I bet 90% of the time, if a woman gets lost, she's gonna stop and ask for directions. A guy's just gonna be nah, man, I'm gonna figure this shit out.
Turn up here.
So I think the way in which you deal with shortcomings is gonna be very different from the way that a guy does, and it may work better for them this way or the other way. But I'm sure by you asking, it's sort of new for them to go, oh, I could just ask.
I've got a similar answer. I just run into guys using their strength a lot, and I feel it's good. I'll learn how to deal with it. But then there's there's a point where he's just you got nothing, you're arm barring, and he's just like that, my professor. So, but yeah, like know when you're using too much strength and when you could be using technique, you know, like you don't have to use that strength, you can just be more technical. I realize a lot when I roll with like white belt guys, I feel like it's a wrestling match, and then they're like really heavy wrestling me, and then they end up in my triangle. But then when I roll with like a blue belt or a purple belt boy, like they're so technical, they're so good, and like I'm learning so much more when they're doing that because I'm flowing with them and I'm like answering back with movements and techniques. When you're rolling with someone just power, you're like holding your breath the whole time. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically it. That's the main issue. Yeah, I got drooled on last week. So keep your mouth closed, baby.
Solid advice. Well, I think it's also important perhaps for the men to realize if they're using strength in lieu of technique, it's hurtful to them as well, that they develop bad habits, and it's really not only to keep you safe, but it's also for them to actually develop as fighters. What I would generally say to a guy is roll with me like I'm a male grappler who's my size. So I'm a 125-pound woman, roll with me like I'm a 125-pound man. So if it's a man and if you're 250 pounds, you're probably not going to be grinding knee on belly on me, right? That's just not very nice. But nor are you going to be asking me if I'm okay every 5 minutes. You wouldn't do that with a man. So just, again, size matters because you need to be respectful of your weight, your training partner's weight, but keep it at that. Keep it simple.
Okay.
I would usually tell them, leave your ego at the door, and secondly, be open to learning from a woman because we do offer quite a bit. We're more flexible and a lot more technical in the way we move, as opposed to you might use, 3 positions and getting to a submission where I might use 1 or 2 because I might flow and move a lot quicker than you and be a little more smoother and be more agile as opposed to some of the guys. So that's what I would usually say.
Much like what these ladies were saying, I think a big sticking point is you will inhibit your own growth if you rely on all of your assets, and sometimes that means learning to be okay. Like I'll go with you and I'll teach you that it's okay to be swept or it's okay to be subbed by a woman. Nobody, I'm not going to jump up and dance around you and be like, I totally submitted you. I think sometimes, not all, but I think some guys, the reason why they do overtrain with you is because they are terrified that you're going to make them look like, something less of than a human being if you get a better position than them. So I think part of it is, as a woman, leaving your own ego at the door and teaching them that you can train equally with them and you're not going to make a scene and embarrass them, that you're just looking to be an equal training partner. I think that although jiu-jitsu is a self-defense based sport and it is sort of based on skill and leverage, over, let's say, strength, like if we were boxing, I wouldn't be able to handle a strike from a 200-pound guy the same way that I would handle a strike from a 150-pound person because strength is a bigger factor there. I think we are lying to ourselves if we say that strength doesn't play a factor. So at some point it matters. So I think that there's a time and a place for training with people a certain way. I'm not going to go, in the state that I'm in right now, 3 months pregnant, I'm not going to go ask my 220-pound brown belt who wants to compete in 2 weeks, hey man, you want to go? Because even though they might be the most brilliant training partner on a regular basis, there's a certain metamorphosis that happens depending on what your needs are, your personal needs. So I think it's good to be cognizant as a training partner, hey, is this person in the right mental space to train with me? Because if, let's say they're like a 150-pound blue belt who just likes to train for fun and just likes learning, that's a much more suitable partner for you than, somebody that is amped up and wants to compete. So I think part of it is just taking responsibility of yourself and gauging for yourself. I'm not going to be stupid about who I train with and just train with everybody in the room and expect them to treat me okay. I have to understand that my needs might be different from their needs, and I should try to match up with the right kind of people. So I think if you can't do that or you don't know how to, you could ask your coach for sure to help you with that. And you know, just understand it's a combat sport. You're not knitting. Like you know, things will happen either way. You know, both on your end and for a male partner. And I think to keep it as professional as on the mats, and you know, I'll treat you as an equal, you treat me as an equal. It can't go too wrong that way. That's the way I would look at it.